Okay, so in this video, we're going to take a look at the two problems that were at the end of the PowerPoint when we finished with part one. The solutions are both here in the PowerPoint here for the second part, so you can see those before we start with section 2.11. And these were from the back of the book. A little bit different numbers in this, but that's okay. We don't really mind that. So if you use the numbers from here, and you'll see that that was what was in the assignments listed on the assignments page in Canvas for both of them. They were the numbers here. So anyway, programming challenge 10. So here we go. So we have this little problem that we're doing here. You have a given formula. Of course, we're including the input output string library using the standard namespace, and we have our main function defined as an integer, which we'll roll through. And this is our main part of our program. So I want to show you this. Like I said, this is in the PowerPoint, but I want to go ahead and jump over to the actual code. All right, so here we go. And I want to show you this working just first, and then I'll show you a couple of things you have to watch out for with this. All right, so as we look at the code real quick, here we go. We're starting out. You remember commenting. Make sure you comment things throughout your code so you know what's going on so that other people can tell. So we have three doubles. Gallons used, miles per tank, miles per gallon. And you notice that this is 16.0. That's just habit. It doesn't have to be listed that way. It's just a thing that you do. When you're in other languages, like you're in Python, you don't even have to do this portion, but you just have the variable name and say equal. And if you put dot zero on there, then it knows that you want it to be a float. So anyway, we have three doubles listed. We have these pieces here, and then miles per gallon is going to be calculated. And so that comes down here. Here we go. We're calculating this here, taking this divided by this. And then we have the result. So blah, blah, blah. The car got, and on this output, we'll see it in a second. Let me just go ahead and hit visualize, and we'll run this real quick. Okay, and I wanted to step through, so I'm gonna scroll up real quick so you see this. Okay, so forward, and you notice how when it stores it, so the dot zero disappears. Now, if you're using this with Python, it will show the dot zero, but remember this was written for Python, so this is we still love it for C++ for doing these kinds of things. But anyway, but it is there, it is stored there, and you notice you can tell just because it is a double listed up here. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and hit forward again. We're going to store the 312, and then when it does the calculation, it will store the 19.5. Shows a 0.5 obviously because it's not dot zero here, and then it's going to have our display. So we've got our string, then our variable, and a string. So here we go. So the car got 19.5 miles per gallon. Okay, so great. So we're done with that, right? So here's what you have to watch out for on these kinds of things. Let's say that as you're going through here, you know that you don't really have to put that on there. Again, it's just coding practice, and it helps you identify it. Then great. But let's say I wanted to go in here, and I wanted to replace these, and I know that I don't really care. I'm not really storing anything. These are straight up like, this is 16, this is 312, so I'm just going to declare them as ints, okay? But I know that I want to, have a float variable here for this when it's calculated, so I have a double right here. So watch what happens with the code with this one though. If I come up here and I hit visualize again, and we're going to go ahead and roll in. And we have the visualizer tool here. I'm going to scroll up. Okay, so I can get to forward. All right, so here we go. So here we go. These are ints now, and watch them store. Now, we can't see the dot zero there. Wouldn't matter anyway for this right now, but we're storing two ints here, and then we have a double that's going to be calculated here, right? If I hit forward, you'll see, whoops, it truncated the dot 5. Okay, so it is 19.5. We saw that in the last example, so you know that's it. So when it prints the output, that is not correct. So 19 miles is not correct. So you have to be very careful. At least one of these going into the calculated, variable that we have here for miles per gallon. This is a double, but at least one of these has to be a double going in. So when I hit edit code, I can come back over here, and they don't both have to be. But let's say that I wanted this one to be a double. Then you can roll in, and now it will work fine. If I come back in here and wait for it to roll through, and you're going to see eventually. Here we go. All right, so here we go with our same type of thing. So I'm going to hit forward. Forward there, and boom, there's our 19.5. So at least one variable going in must be a double in order to store it as a double. Okay, so, and this is a nice little visualizer for you to be able to see that. So again, thank you, Philip. We love this tool. So anyway, so that's it. So boom, there we go. We've got our 19.5 back, and we're good to go. Now, I would say just from a coding practice standpoint, go ahead and make these all doubles. This for what we're doing right now. That will just kind of help, with your, we really care about storage. I mean, yes, double is going to take more, but for right now, we're not really concerned about it too much. So later on down the road, we'll talk more about when you should be trying to be more efficient and all that kind of stuff. For now, just to play with this, go ahead and use doubles. And I would say just as a code practice, go ahead and put the dot zeros there. I mean, if it helps you visualize and go and look instantly and go, oh yeah, this is a double. You know, I need to make sure I store that as that. Then go for it. Okay. So that's this one, whatever one this was in here, programming challenge 10. So the miles per gallon one. All right. So let's go ahead and look at the next one. Let's go over here. And this one says we have a $95 purchase. We have this for state sales tax, this for county sales tax, and you want to display the purchase price, state tax, county tax, and the total tax amounts. Probably should have gone ahead and added like total to add them all up, but we didn't have that. That's all right. All right, so let's go ahead and look at this. So in this one, here is sample code. Again, this is one way of doing it, right? So there are lots of different ways of doing this. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and take a look at the code itself. So let me jump back over here. I'm going to roll into this one. So here's the code that we have, and we have double, and so we've got purchase price here, and notice this is 95.00. Again, don't really need that on there, and don't even need the second one either, but I don't know, looks like dollars now, so dollars and cents. So anyway, you have that on there. But you notice this is one way of doing it. So we've looked at different ways of defining these, and so this one we're just saying double. We've got a comma at the ends of each one of these lines, and then the semicolon to close out the statement. So we can roll through and do it this way. So here we're defining what the rate is for state tax rate, what the rate is for county, and labeling these things as we go down with little descriptions. And then these are the ones we're going to use when we're calculating. So you can see the calculations going on here, and then it will display the results. So let's go ahead and take a look. And I'll probably have to shrink it a little bit. Let's see here. Let's see if I can get away with this. Maybe just a hair. Maybe just a hair. Let me just drop this down. That way we can see everything for sure. All right, so here we go. So here are our output over here, just in case we need it to be a little bit bigger. And then we can walk through the code. So again, watching how this works. So our first step, we're going down here. Here are all our doubles listed. And we're just going to define those things. Then we're going to do some calculations at each one of these steps, and you can see how they're working there. And then we're going to go ahead and get to the results. We'll hit forward. So here we go. Purchase price, state sales tax, county sales tax, and total sales tax, and then that's the end of our program. Now we won't look at formatting yet, not a big deal. We'll look at that here in a little bit, but that gives you an idea of the type of output you should have and how your program should hopefully look. Again, this is just one way.